Tim, we're so used to seeing teenagers these days break into the first team and go on to have long careers. Eberechi Eze is 27. Watching that today almost makes you wonder where he's been. Obviously, we know where he's been, but why it has almost taken him this long to reach the pinnacle? Well, I think he's stayed at it, and when he was at Palace, he was a good player. But sometimes maturity takes longer for others, and it's hard to kind of look. I think Crystal Palace looked after him really well, stuck by him, helped him grow. Some players just, and then when it's time for them to mature, he got put into a team when he was ready to then take that. And we didn't see this Eberechi Eze at Palace. We saw a good version, but this is the next level, and he's only able to do that because he's in this team. Sometimes when teenagers go into a team, Bex, you see them for the first season or two, and sometimes by 24, 25, they're on a bit of a dip. It's like they've had sometimes coming later means that at 26, 27, you're in your prime, you know yourself, you've got experience, and he'll go on to, you know, mid to late 30s now with the career that he's had. Today, he was a difference maker. Today, he showed us the reason why you're going to spend $91 million for him. Today was why he can take this Arsenal team to another level, and that's why it was such a big day for him to get that hat-trick. Tim, technically, what is it about him that makes him different from others? Well, in moments, and there's very few players like this, where in moments where the game gets hectic, it slows down for him, and he controls that. I think his second goal was a perfect example. He gets the ball, he checks his shoulder, there's 4 or 5 players running at him, and it might as well have been in slow motion. It was like a comic book game. He just slowed it down and chopped it. That's not a skill that everyone possesses. When you look at Arsenal right now and how easy that was for them today, nothing is a problem for this Gunners team. Nothing at all, it seems. No, because they'll find the way to believe in the football. It's the trust in the football and the process that Mikel Arteta talked way back in the day when he first took over. Today it was about patience. Today it was about not overcommitting, not getting too emotional, controlling their football, which they continue to do for the 30-odd minutes before the first goal came. And then from the moment the goal went in, it was only ever going to go one way. And in some respects, I think 4-1 actually shows the difference between the two teams. Arsenal were that much better. And also, and it doesn't matter, but it'll be nice for the Arsenal fans that today was not about set pieces. It was not about set pieces. It was about brilliant football. And look, I just think that felt like more than 3 points to me. I thought, okay, they get the 3 points and they create a little bit more of a gap. The energy in the stadium afterwards, the way they handled the Derby match, the hat trick, I just felt that will pay more dividends for the players inside that dressing room to go on and now push. And stops a bit of that narrative. No Gabriel, oh, what will Arsenal do? And Capier come in and had no problems whatsoever. That's a really important big win for Mikel Arteta and his team. OK, let's take you back to our commentary team. Graham Lowe and John Champion have just witnessed that celebration. They're out on the field. Chaps, some final reflections from you, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a party for much of the second half, and it was certainly a party atmosphere at the end. And I think, overall, a pretty special day for Arsenal.
It really was. It was the perfect performance for them. I mean, you can look at the Richarlison goal and just say that's a special goal. That could be goal of the season. But the context that they were 3-0 down at the time, and Eze, just watching him, is how loose he is on the ball, how he moves from side to side. And even during the interview there, post-match, you couldn't see it on the television, but he stood with his foot on the ball, just sort of chatting away and rolling the ball under his foot as he was talking. So he can do 2 things at once, so he can multitask.
Yeah, he can. And my question for you, I mean, we've talked a lot about the players that are missing for Arsenal. They didn't really miss Gyökeres today. Marino did a stout job up top. And more pertinently, they didn't miss Martin Ødegaard, who's on the brink of being available again. And we've been talking for weeks about how he's a big miss. Well, in fact, is he? Because he probably wouldn't get in the team at the moment.
No, and you know, his form has been in and out. He had an exceptional season, didn't he, a couple of seasons ago, and really ran the show for Arsenal. You know, they're an evolving team. Eze in there, players that Trossard's having more of an impact. So once again, it's about having, I think, a squad of players that can all deliver the highest performance and unlock teams at different parts of a game. They did that early on. They managed to unlock with Trossard and that lovely ball by Marino. But that whole sort of ability just to sort of move pieces in and out when you need them and have everybody desperate to get back fit, get playing, get on the pitch. And that's just a self-fulfilling sort of energy that you get from training every day. You know, these guys can't wait to go into training Monday. They can't wait for their next game. And when you're on that roll with the quality they've got, you just feel that there's a real momentum that's already there that will just keep going as we get into the busiest time of the season.
Okay, briefly, I've left the most difficult question until last. Can you say anything positive about Spurs?
No. Not really. not on that performance. I think the second half was a bit better in terms of the shape of the team. So if I'm in Thomas Frank's position, I've got to think very long and hard about saying, do you know what? This is the system I'm going to back, and I'm going to make the players fit into that system. They're good enough to do it, and certainly a back three with the wing backs needs a lot more work before you can roll it out too regularly.
Absolutely. There you have it then, Rebecca. A thumping derby win for Arsenal. And we do owe a bit of an apology to Lee Dixon, who's been quite upset at some of the references we've made to him in the commentary, sitting in his luxury Californian mansion enjoying that. Apparently he doesn't like to have devilled eggs for breakfast. He had kedgeree and kippers served by his butler.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.